In 2024, we have seen some truly horrendous video games released with terrible casts of characters like Kill the Justice League, Veilguard, Dustborn, and Concord. But now that Marvel's Rivals has released, tons of people are praising their character designs and also the gameplay, comparing it to these other woke titles. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, so many developers within the mainstream industry have voiced how angry they've been with gamers because we have a voice and we are not afraid to use it. Gamers are willing to speak up when they see character designs and storylines that they like or ones that they dislike, and these individuals in the industry cannot fathom the idea that gamers are no longer going to just shut up, consume product, and then move on to the next one. And when we see games that are doing things right, whether it's with the story or the gameplay or the character designs, we are going to praise it. We are going to say, hey, listen, this is the way that the industry should go. And that's what's happening right now with Marvel's Rivals. It is a game that, in my opinion, is really great. I have played it for quite a few hours already over the past few days since launch, and I've had a blast with it. I'm loving the character variety. I mean, 33 characters at launch is quite a lot. I don't remember off the top of my head how many maps there are, but there's at least half a dozen. I mean, so far things are going great for this title. Also, the player numbers have been fantastic, and that is also taking into consideration that Path of Exile 2 has also had over 500,000 players in-game this weekend. As you can see, there's 449,000 players in-game right now. The all-time peak was 16 hours ago at 451,000, and this just doesn't seem like a game that is going to go away anytime soon. It is NetEase and also Marvel Games. I think that they have a lot of content planned. I believe they have 13 characters in the works right now, which is really, really cool. And there is a lot of potential with this title. And it's also especially great that it's a free-to-play game that has no predatory microtransactions. There's only cosmetics, and they're actually fairly priced. I mean, $6 for a skin really isn't that bad. And I mean, I'm sure going forward, right, we're going to see other fantastic games release that are similar. I do think that this is going to kind of prove that there is a interest in hero shooters right now, but the most recent one to release besides Rivals was Concord, and so many people in the industry said, oh, it failed because it's an oversaturated space, and Rivals proves that that is not the case. But one major element that gamers online are praising are the character designs. You have very beautiful women like Storm, for example. She's got curves, she's got multiple outfits, she's got the mohawk hairstyle and the kind of punk rock outfit. You've got this one, which I personally consider as more classic. You've got characters like Thor and Iron Man, which are looking spectacular. For characters that are part of the MCU, you also have their MCU outfits, and all of the women look very pretty and feminine. All of the men look very hunky and masculine, and what a lot of people in the industry would consider stereotypes, right? Oh, having an attractive female woman who happens, yeah, to be feminine, and masculine men. And then you compare those designs to a game like Concord, and you can't help but point and laugh. Concord had a lot of problems besides the character designs. For however many years it really was in development, I personally think that they had restarted the development in 2020 when Sony had made a deal with them. I think that it really was only like 3.5 years worth of development instead of like the 6 to 8 that we had heard because of when the studio was founded. Now, of course, Firewalk is no more, but the gameplay was bad. There wasn't a lot of map selection. There wasn't a lot of heroes, and it was a $40 buy-in, which was insane to think in this space when free-to-play is dominating. But the character designs were, yes, a major problem for a lot of gamers. You just cannot look at these characters and think to yourself, wow, these look actually really cool and stellar. Same with Kill the Justice League. You had the cringe squad. Veilguard, I mean, how many characters have to sit around a table and talk about their gender identity before you decide to turn the game off? Because when all of them are sitting at the table and they're talking, it is the most insufferable dialogue. And Dustborn, there are a lot of terrible squads that have been in video games this year. I don't think that we're actually going to see that many failures in 2025 just because it seems that 2024 was the year all of them got pumped out. But now that people are talking about Rivals and comparing, the cringe squads, and of course, Rivals is going to come out on top every single time, gamers are pointing and laughing at these terrible games and talking about how fantastic Rivals looks. Wait, is that a strong, independent woman of color? Yeah, one who actually is well designed and well written. Go figure, right? I'm going with the game that is super fun to play and that has Marvel superheroes in it. Eastern Studios is where the future is, and I would generally agree. While yes, Western developers are still capable of putting out good content, I just don't see a lot coming out that a lot of people are loving. We're appreciating games that are coming out of Japan and South Korea, and even Chinese devs have really stepped up over the past year or two. And I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon. When the mainstream industry has pushed people away, people don't want to just give up video games, one of their favorite pastimes. They're just going to look for alternatives, and that happens to be indies and even looking at other regions again, like Japan and South Korea and China. The left is stale and familiar in a boring way. The right is dynamic, familiar, in an exciting way. Even I'm interested in Rivals, and I don't play these types of games anymore. There are other posts being made saying Rivals just launched and is already breaking records. A hero shooter like Concord. Yeah, Concord's all-time peak was 697 at release. The all-time peak for Rivals already in only a few days is 444,000. They are not the same. And it's funny. Legendary Drops had said Concord failed because live service is too competitive and hero shooters are dying. Marvel's Rivals legally distinct Hot Genji says otherwise. Yeah, it's just, in my opinion, fantastic to see a game doing really well. And initially, I was mildly hyped for this, but over the years, obviously, I think that Marvel has kind of gone downhill, though it seems that the designers for this game did a really good job, and it also does feel familiar, but also fresh. It's kind of hard to explain, right? It feels like Overwatch. It feels like other hero shooters you've played, but there are so many characters with so many cool abilities. It really just hits home, and it truly is, in my opinion, what I've wanted out of a hero shooter for a long time. And I'm sure that there's other ways that they can, you know, uh, continue to make the game better. They can continue to work hard on it towards there being, maybe 40 or 50 characters and 20 or 30 maps, which will be really cool. But at launch, it's doing really well already, and it deserves to. It's really fun. It's free to play, and it's not predatorily monetized, and that's all you can really ask for in a video game release these days. So it's getting compared to a lot of other games, and it's absolutely wrecking at this point in time in player numbers. And it's great to have a game that I can use as an example against titles like Concord and Kill the Justice League and Veilguard and Dustborn, and just show this is what gamers want instead of this modern audience slop. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.